My name's Jim Serpico, and this... Should I start with my name, or should I start with this is Bread for the People? Do you like it like this? Welcome to Bread, or do you like it like this? Welcome. Ready? Welcome to Bread for the People. Mine... Is there a script?
Bread for the People.
Welcome to Bread for the People. I'm Jim Serpico. My guest today is an entrepreneur, a restaurateur, a pizzaiolo, a father, a husband, and he's a good friend of mine. Please welcome Anthony Laurino.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad we were able to do this.
Yeah, really. I'm really happy, too. I'm glad.
Now, we didn't know each other cutting back to maybe even a year and a half ago.
Yeah, that's probably that's when our bromance started.
Our bromance started a year and a half ago. How did it start, Anthony?
So I was on Instagram one day and I'm on Instagram a lot. I saw your bread and you made a video and I was like, oh my God, this looks like absolutely amazing. And I commented on your post. And I said, how can I get this bread delivered? How can I get this bread hot out of the oven? And you wrote me back and you said, let's get together and we'll bake it in your restaurant and you could have it hot out of the oven. That's what happened.
Right. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Now, I only live about 2 miles away from your restaurant.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, wow.
And my mother, who before she moved full-time to Florida, that was her go-to restaurant.
Really?
My stepfather, Lou, they would go there at least once a week.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And they were always talking about Phil's Pizza. And I never really went with them for whatever reason. I probably went a couple of times.
Yeah.
But as soon as I went in there, you were so warm and welcoming, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a great time.
And we haven't stopped since.
No.
We do a lot of collaborations together.
It's getting better and better, actually.
It's getting better and better. I mean, it is. Listen, you're an amazing guy.
And so are you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. And one of the things I love about this business is there's, by and large, a lot of people that do this, put everything they have into it. There's so many hours, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And there isn't a ton of free time. There's not a lot of time to socialize. Yeah. And I do find that, when you do these types of things and people have fun together there in the workplace, everyone appreciates it and wants to do it and help each other.
That's what a lot of people don't understand. We put our lives into this business. And it's not even like we're living this glamorous life or we have these crazy cars or live in these amazing homes. It's just that we love this. We just love it. And, I'm sure you love on your end too. I know you love what you do. And I think you're a very successful guy. And like I said, I know you have a plan of things you want to do. And I support you 100%. But we love what we do. And I don't think people really, customers, I'm saying
right.
The most of the customers don't understand what we really put into it.
I would say that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then listen, everyone, especially, I've worked in other fields and it's different.
Yeah.
But I did put in where we live, to paint the picture, we live in Long Island, New York.
Yeah.
And it's a suburb of Manhattan.
Yeah.
And a lot of people live here to work in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And it's a grind.
It is. It really is.
For everybody, it's a grind. To commute to Manhattan takes about 45 to 50 minutes. That's train time. Then you have to add
on a good day
driving from your house to the train.
Yeah.
Then you have to get off the train and you have to get a certain part of Manhattan. So that's 3 hours of your day just commuting.
Sure.
But a lot of those people are making some serious money. We kind of Long Island is a relatively wealthy area.
Yeah, it is.
And then we have restaurants that are, and hospitality businesses that are here to serve the people.
Yeah.
And that's a grind.
It is. It's a grind.
So to explain a little bit, could you describe your restaurant? And tell us the name and describe it.
It's called Phil's Pizzeria and Restaurant. It's in Syosset on Jericho Turnpike. It's it's like it's a regulars place. Like, we have our families that come in, our locals. It's a neighborhood place. And, we have people that come in, we just got these Tesla chargers put in. So we have some transient people, but for the most part, it's, it's regulars. We know everybody. They know us. We know their families. They know my family. My kids all work there. They know my kids. They know their names. We know their kids. We know their grandkids. It's a tight-knit place. We serve, nice-sized portions, and people love it. And most people leave with a bag to go, even though they're dining in, obviously. And we have pizzas, different types of stuff, and, that's basically it.
So in the pizza landscape, could you get into a little bit more of that, like where you fit in? It's a pizzeria and restaurant.
Yeah.
There's lots of different kind of pizza places.
Yeah, there is. We're not like that type of place that has the, the brick oven or the coal fire. It's your standard type of place with, we have like 40 different types of pizzas, from the Angry Grandma, which is pepperoni and Mike's Hot Honey, to a regular slice, to a chicken bacon ranch slice. It's a traditional pizzeria, not like your type of place that has like, this new stuff, not new stuff, this popular stuff that's out now with the brick oven, the coal fire, these Pie Master ovens, which I'd like to get into, obviously.
Yeah, the Pizza Master is amazing.
Pizza Master, yes. I heard that oven is amazing.
Pizza Master. Yeah, I mean, we could get into that, the technology and the brick oven thing, but, you also serve a lot of food and pasta.
Yeah,
I mean,
full menu, full menu, specials.
I mean, we're talking, your menu must have 80 items on it.
And we have crazy specials. I have stuffed pork chops Valdestano. We do Veal Saltimbocca. It's a restaurant. It's basically a restaurant with pizza, I would say. It should say Phil's Restaurant with Pizza. I mean, it's Phil's Pizzeria Restaurant.
Right. I saw a funny Instagram from the local influencer Al Fenza today.
Okay.
He was at a different Phil's Pizza.
Yeah, I saw that too. It was in the Wantor place. Yeah.
Yes. And so the name of your restaurant again is Phil's Pizza, but he had a funny intro. He's like, there's a lot of Phil's pizzas, but nobody knows who Phil is.
Yeah.
There's this elusive guy named Phil.
Yeah.
What is this story behind all these Phil's pizzas?
So from what I know, the original Phil's in Massapequa was opened up by a guy named Phil.
I hope so.
He opened it up like in the 60s. He sold it to a guy named Frank Lombardo. This guy, Frank, has something to do with the Rose's pizzas. I don't know if he's still around. I mean, I hope he is. And my partner at the time bought the Phil's in Massapequa in 1987. He bought it from Frank Lombardo. And I had a place in Queens. It was called High Class Pizza. With my brother-in-law, we were partners, and I had the opportunity to go partners with my partner and his brother. We were the three owners, and they had a great following in Massapequa, and they had a lot of people that lived on the North Shore. So when we decided to open up this place in Syosset, rather, they say, what, let's just call it Phil's. I mean, we have a great following. Let's keep it that way. So there was a Phil at one point, but now there is no Phil.
There's no Phil.
No.
But everybody comes in and asks for Phil.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, yesterday I had this lady come in. She goes, "Are you Phil?" I said, "No, I'm Anthony." She goes, "All right, are you Phil's son?" I said, "No." And she left, and I said, "Oh, shit, should I start telling people I'm Phil? I don't know."
But you don't even explain. You just say no. You don't say there's no Phil.
What do you think? Should I start explaining this to the customers? I mean, what's your opinion? I mean, I really value your opinion.
I think that they will assume that you're a worker and not the owner.
Yeah.
So I think there has to be a story there that
Or should I just say, yes, I'm Phil?
No.
Nah.
I don't think so. Unless you don't like the person and you really want to screw with them.
That happens a lot. I love it when the people call up and they're like, "Hey, I'm a real. Can I get a reservation? I'm a really good friend of Phil's. I know Phil very well."
That's a good one.
Oh my God,
That's a good one. I prank called you guys a few weeks ago
that
asking
was
for
classic.
Phil. Every once in a while, I do some prank calls to friends of mine
Yeah.
here on the podcast, and I hit you guys up, and I asked for Phil,
Yeah,
and it was great because there's your name's Anthony,
Yeah.
and then the other guy at the counter's name's Anthony.
and my son is Anthony.
There's two-
Also, we got 3 Anthonys there. It's crazy.
Three Anthony's
Yeah.
there, so it was so funny. I knew it was Anthony. I call him Anthony number 2.
Yeah.
Maybe I should put him down to 3 and call your son Anthony number 2. But he's dealing with me. He's like, "There's no Phil here," and he's like, "Hold on," and then he comes back on. I asked for the manager. He goes, "Okay, I'll get the manager," and then he comes back on, and it's him again. And I knew it was him again. It was just so funny.
Yeah. And I keep telling this guy, he is my manager. And I'm like, listen, I'm like, when people call and ask for the manager, I'm like, even when I'm here, I'm like, talk to them. I'm like, just deal with it. I'm like, take a little bit of load off of my back, please. And I remember that day specifically. I didn't answer the phone, obviously, but I remember it was a crazy busy day. I think it was a Friday. And he's like, "Yeah, some guy just called," and I blew him off. I was like, yeah, whatever. Just deal with it,
But your wife was working that day.
Yeah, she was there.
She was there, and she knew. She knew it was me.
Yeah, she's like, "I bet you that was Jim." And I heard them having a conversation on the side, and I was up front dealing with a million things, and I'm like, "What are they talking about, Jim? What are they, whatever." I didn't even know the two things coincided.
That's so funny. So, in Long Island, I would say our customer base is a little different than a lot of areas in the country.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I agree.
They like things a certain way.
They do.
And the way they like it is particular to the individual. And all these individuals like it differently, but they want it how they want it.
Yes.
And they make that very clear.
Yes.
To the service business.
Every item on the menu is dissected and made the way they want it,
Right.
And I tend to tell the wait staff when they hand me a ticket that says, "Oh, can I get a veal saltimbocca, but hold the spinach, but I want it over broccoli instead of spinach, and I don't want prosciutto underneath it. I want salami," just for instance. And I tell the wait staff, "Listen, just go tell the customer that we respect the way you like this made. However, this is the way we prepare it. And if you don't particularly like the way it tastes, we just want to let you know the way you envision something and the way it's made are two completely different things. This way it doesn't come back to me." But it still comes back sometimes.
Yeah. Listen, man, I don't know. It's my wife is the greatest, but she's so trying to eat what she considers right, depending on what she read.
Yeah.
And she dissects that menu. She orders things specifically with this on the side, and a lot. I guess whatever, man. And we have to learn how to deal with it, right, and serve the customer.
Listen, at the end of the day, whatever. If somebody doesn't like something that they wanted to make or whatever, listen. At the end of the day, it's not going to make or break you. Throw it. If they don't like it, throw it in the garbage. Give them something else. Whatever they want. Just make them happy. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So this reminds me of, it's related a little bit, going off on a little bit of a tangent.
Yeah.
But, as a guy who does bread at farmers markets.
Delicious bread.
I appreciate that.
Amazing
I did
bread.
have a customer, my first year in business, come up and order the prosciutto bread and was really intrigued. And started a conversation with me the first time he met me at the market. Then he came back with his kid the next week, and he he picked up 2 loaves of prosciutto bread.
Yeah.
And then he found me and called me. And he said, "Listen, I want to get 6 loaves of prosciutto bread. Can you?" It just reminds me of growing up, but I want to give it out to my family.
Yeah.
I want to get 6 loaves. I want to know if you could, can you add some more butter or lard to it. And he was giving me specific instructions.
Yeah.
And I accommodated.
Oh, that was
I
very
made
nice.
the 6 loaves, and I gave him the 6 loaves. And after that, I actually made a video of me making that new batch of bread with putting lard in it. I don't know if a lot of people know, if they're not from the East Coast, the other name for prosciutto bread, amongst others, is lard bread, because traditionally there was, the fats kept on the meats. People actually would add lard to the bread. So back in the day, everyone would refer to it as lard bread. I try to sell it as lard bread now and label it lard bread. No one buys it.
Yeah.
But really what I'm making is lard bread. But anyway, I didn't really hear from this guy again after accommodating the 6 loaves until I applied for the same farmer's market and found out that he got the bread position. So he never introduced himself to me as a bread maker.
Wow.
Ordered all this bread, and then opened up a bread stand at that farmer's market selling prosciutto bread.
Wow.
So essentially what this guy was doing was deconstructing my bread.
Yes.
Asking me to tweak it to his specifications.
Yeah.
To see what it would taste like. And then he opened up a business. How fucked up is that?
Listen, that is fucked up. I got a great story for you on that. Not to prolong this conversation or try to one up you, but I got a story very similar to you. So I used to know this guy that was a maitre d' at a restaurant on the North Shore. I still know him. I haven't talked to him in a long time. So I didn't see him for about 5 or 10 years. And I saw him at a car show one day. So he goes, hey, how are you? I say, hey, how are you? What have you been up to? He says. I said, not much, just working, whatever. I got a place down the block. So he goes, a place down the block? I said, yeah. Because the car show was at Syosset Ford at the time. Mm-hmm. Where's your place? Right down the block. What's it called? Phil's. Phil's? Phil's of Syosset? I said, yeah. How'd you get that place? I said, I don't know. I saved my money. I had another place. I bought it, To make the story short, he goes, wow, that place is busy. I said, yeah, it's, we do okay. How'd you get so busy? Did you advertise? Did you do this? You do that? I said, yeah, not really. We just working hard, whatever, this and that. He goes, I'm going to stop in for dinner one night. Okay. He comes in for dinner. He was in the same business, obviously. I'm a very proud person. I take him into my kitchen. This is my walk-in box. This is that. Oh, beautiful place. I had just bought these beautiful convection ovens from Jade Range, 3 convection ovens. I'm showing him this, showing him that. This is the pasta I use, just when you come in, I'm a proud person. And I open up my heart to everybody. If I love you, I love you. That's it. Mm-hmm. So he was coming in on a regular basis. All of a sudden, I don't see this guy for a couple of months. Next thing you know, I heard he opened up a restaurant not too far from me.
Pizzeria?
Restaurant. Listen, on a completely different scale than my restaurant. I'm not going to say the name of the restaurant, but on a completely different level. But all this guy had to say to him was, hey, listen, Ann, I just want, for no reason, not that I'm anybody important, but listen, I'm opening up a place, completely different level than you're at. I just want to let you know, you want to stop in, have a drink, have some pasta with your family, whatever, this and that. And, it just hurt me really bad that the guy didn't have the.
There's something a little shady when they don't open up and he purposely had to withhold information.
Yeah. And I have people that I know in the industry, in the supply industry, that had told me that this person was trying to look in the area, and I ignored their warnings. Not that he opened up and hurt me, because it didn't. It's like I said, it's on a completely different level. But I just wish the guy would have said, hey, I'm opening up a place higher end than yours, no pizza, upscale eatery, and I just want to let you know, and that's the end of the story. I appreciate you being my friend. If you ever need anything, stop in. Something like that. That's all. But people are weird.
It's not about being competitive.
No, not at all.
Today, I went to to a new place for me today that I've heard good things about for lunch with my son.
Yeah.
It was a last minute thing. We decided to go and we decided to try it. And, he had some items that overlap with mine. And I started talking to him about bread. I told him I was a bread maker.
Yeah.
And I got into that. I'm getting a food truck. And you know what? It ended up being this guy, like, giving me tips and wanting to help.
Yeah.
And I was very transparent. I was there to eat, but there were so many similar things.
Yeah.
He had the same tomatoes on the counter that I use.
Yeah.
And, so it ended up a conversation, and he likes to talk about it.
Yeah.
And he was very gracious. And there's no hiding. There's no bullshit.
No. I mean, we're here for each
know?
other. We got to help each other out,
Exactly.
We're all great at what we do. Whatever your job is, we're all great at what we do. And we need everybody, from somebody that washes your car to your landscaper to your hair cutter to the person that you buy your T-shirt from. Like, we're all great at what we do, and we all need one another.
And, we live in a place that has 8 million people.
Yes.
That's the population, I believe, of Long Island. And, aren't we serving our communities? We talked about this the other day because there was a little controversy. I stuck my nose in for some stupid reason.
Yeah.
Although I feel like I was standing up for the underdog in that case.
Yeah.
There's why can't there be many pizza places in a city of 8 million people that are not only, maybe they go out socially, the owners of these places. Maybe they trade tips.
Yeah.
Maybe they help each other. Maybe they do an event together and everyone does it different. Like, it only helps.
Yes, it does. We're stronger together than apart. It's like a union, sort of, but like not like a union, but like we're united.
Right.
I met a guy once that he has a very successful business in the restaurant industry. He's got quite a few places. I'll tell you what the name of the place is next time I see you. But I respect his places, and they're beautiful places. He owns probably about 5 to 7 to 8 places. And I met him somewhere. We have a mutual friend, and I said, "Oh my God!" I said, "I go to your places. They're all beautiful, very well decorated. The food is delicious." And he looks at me like this. He goes, "I know." That's what he says to me. I'm like, "Oh my God, are you kidding me?" Like, instead of saying like, "Oh, thank you, I appreciate it," nothing like that. Like, he goes, "I know."
Yeah. For me, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't need someone like that in my life.
Oh, that's it. I go like this. Thank you.
So how many years do you have this place?
17 years as of May 3rd. Just passed.
So
Open.
17 years.
Yeah.
And I want to paint another picture here. What's the seating capacity at your restaurant?
82.
Okay, so it's pretty large for a pizzeria.
Yeah, it's large.
You have a great kitchen. You're rocking and rolling for 17 years.
Yep.
I would think that over time, because I've seen people talk about this and show graphs and things, more competition comes along the way.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that affected you or not.
You know what?
Would you say it did?
I feel like you are your own competition. And it's good when competition comes in, because it makes you rethink how you operate and question things that you're doing right or wrong. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's actually a good thing.
Okay.
I do.
So then the pandemic comes along.
Yeah.
And what happens?
It was just like devastating.
Devastating.
Oh, forget it.
So, like, when you first heard of COVID,
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, I was not in the bread business at all.
Yeah.
I was in the television production and talent management business.
Yeah.
And I was on my own. I left the company I ran for 25 years, 4 years before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I would go into Manhattan every day. And I remember we would have these, I think it was on Thursday nights, I had my office was in a co-working space, which was kind of cool because I would sit with other business people and other workers that didn't work with me.
Yeah.
And we would have a beer at the common kitchen, and people started. We heard about COVID for the first time.
Yeah.
And a kid at the table, he was like 28. He said, "I'm telling you right now, everyone at this table is going to have it." And I was like, "No way!" I didn't see it coming. I had no idea what was about to happen.
Yeah.
So how did it unfold for you? How did you start to realize what was up?
I just, one of the nurses from the Syosset hospital next door to us, she was like, she starts talking to me about masks and this and that. And I'm like, what is this woman talking about? Because she's telling me that there's going to be a shortage on masks. This is even before like the shutdown happened.
Exactly.
And
this
then
is probably February.
Yeah, I'll never forget this. And then I'm working one day, and this woman comes in. She's telling me. I said, "Oh yeah, I'll let you know if I need any masks." Okay. I'm like, this woman's out of her mind. And then a few days later, everything happened. With the COVID stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then my wife at the time was working for the Plainview School District, and
Really?
yeah, she was. She was like a aide in the classes, and like a bus monitor. And I'm like, all this stuff happened, and everybody stopped coming to work. And I called her up one day, and I'm like, hon, you got to quit your job. She's like, what are you talking about? But she had already been put on leave, I'm like, you got to tell them, you can't come back to work. You got to stay here full time because this is insanity. Well, what am I supposed to do over here? I can't stay here by myself. My kids are doing homeschooling. They were coming to work after, it was a disaster, really a disaster.
But you had customers?
It was, Jim, it was the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. We took all the tables and all the chairs. It's a big place, even though it's like, to me, 82 seats is not a big place. But it's a big place. But we had all the tables and chairs pushed into the corner, and people would come in. Who's standing over here? Who's standing over there? People were standing so far apart, picking up takeout orders. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe I lived through this. I really can't.
So your takeout business kept going.
Oh, it was insane. It was insane. Because you got to figure, we had a great takeout business and we had a great dine-in business, and now it just became all takeout. And we never delivered before. I don't know if you know that. We never delivered.
Up until then?
Yes, we never delivered. We're one of the few places that didn't deliver. And then we had no choice. We had to deliver. We were doing deliveries, curbside takeout, regular takeout. We had walkie-talkies. My second son, Mateo, he was doing all the curbside. People would call up. Yeah, I'm here to pick up Joe's order. I would get him on the walkie-talkie. Yeah, Mateo, go outside. Joe's here. He would take the box, bring it outside. The people were lined up in the parking lot. It was sick.
So you lost staff.
We lost, I would say 75% of our staff we lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was because financially you made that decision that you didn't really have a choice. You couldn't keep the people on.
No. These people took advantage of the unemployment to the fullest extent. They forget it.
Okay.
Unemployment was paying everybody. They were paying, whatever. They said, okay, yeah, you quit. Okay, we'll pay you. I had one guy that worked for me. He goes, please fire me because I will make more money unemployed than I will working here.
But you had to have a drop in gross income.
We did.
Without the indoor dining.
Even though I'm saying it was crazy as far as like curbside and takeout and deliveries, it wasn't anywhere near the business we had before. Because listen, you come out to dinner to a restaurant, or you go to any restaurant, you're going to sit down if you get seated immediately, or you're going to go at the bar first. You're going to have a drink or two, you and your wife. You sit down, you have another drink, you order an appetizer, a couple more drinks, your entree, some sides. Then the waiter comes over. You guys want dessert? Yeah, we want dessert, cappuccino, espresso, a couple of pieces of cake. We lost all that. We lost the appetizers. We lost the drinks. We lost the cappuccino and coffee, espresso. We lost the desserts. We lost all of that business. You know, that was a huge, huge loss. Huge.
Right. So, and your landlord, I don't know much about it. You know where I'm going with all this. But I am curious, like, was the landlord playing ball, or were you stuck and he was like, this is kind of, you got to figure this out?
No,
They
were very, very accommodating. They're a third generation owner of the property, great people. And they helped us out, but you know, nothing goes without being paid back. And, you know, we're paying them back. They gave us terms, you know, they gave us a break on the rent for a certain period of time. But we're paying them back, and you know, over terms.
So people could say what they want about Dave Portnoy of Barstool fame.
Yeah.
But you know, he's a little bit of a controversial guy because he's very opinionated, and you know, he's got a certain type of humor. But you were a recipient of the Barstool Pizza Fund.
I was one of the few on Long Island. I mean, I know one other place on Long Island that got it besides myself. That was,
I think,
insane.
Borelli's.
Yes.
I played for the Borelli's Little League team.
Really?
When I was a young man in East Meadow. I knew the Borelli's back then. But yeah, I mean, Portnoy really saved people's asses.
He did, man. He stepped up to the plate and he swung that bat and he hit a grand slam, let me tell you.
So tell us about the process there. It's like, was it a surprise?
Forget it. Surprise is not even the word. It was just, so I saw he was doing I think the first place he did was Borelli's. Like the first place that he helped out was them.
I don't know.
I think it was. And I'm like, oh my God, these people are like you felt their pain, you felt their sorrow. Like, you know, as a restaurant owner, operator, like you felt everything that they were going through. You felt it. I mean, listen.
Well, his restaurant, which I know well because I grew up there, is really like a dine-in. I don't know that is... People probably take out from there, but there's a lot of other great pizza places in East Meadow, especially now.
Yeah,
and it's a restaurant.
Yeah, and I'm sure he took a beating with the Coliseum not having anything going on over there too, which is horrible.
Yes.
You know, somebody dropped
Nassau Coliseum.
Yeah, somebody dropped the ball over there too. You know.
Yeah, he was positioned. I mean, literally, when I grew up. The New York Islanders would play there, and it was the years they were winning every year, and Borelli's was a giant part of Islander culture, and the Islanders would go there. It was huge. And the parades would end at Borelli's or go by it, whatever it was.
Listen, that's a historic place. It really is. Yeah, it really is.
It's a historic place. So anyway, back to you and Portnoy.
Yeah.
So you hear about the fund?
I saw it on Instagram. I hear about the fund, and I'm like, you know what? Let me send them a letter. So I reached out to my sister-in-law, Teresa, and I said, can you help me write a letter? She's amazing at writing letters, and she should work for Hallmark, actually. She can she can bring any man to tears or any person to tears. Okay. She's amazing. And I'm like, listen.
This is your sister?
My wife's sister.
Or your sister-in-law? The one who curses a lot?
Oh, yeah. But she only curses in Italian, so that's okay.
Okay.
So I said, listen, you got to help me write this letter. So we sat down and we wrote the letter together. But she, you know, dotted the I's and crossed the T's. And basically we sent them the letter, and I heard nothing for like a week or two. Then what happened was one of my friends' sons reached out to me and he goes, hey, did you hear about the Barstool Fund? I said, yes, I did. He goes, did you apply for it? I said, I did. I said, I did it like 2 weeks ago. I emailed him a letter and this and that. He goes, did you send him a video? I said, no. He says, why not? I said, because I didn't know I had to. He goes, maybe you should, because he loves watching videos.
Really?
That's what this guy told me. So I said, okay. I said, I'm not making a video. He goes, come on, make the video, whatever, this and that. I have the text messages from this kid. He's a great kid, my friend's son. You know, he's like in his 30s. So he goes, make the video, Anthony. I'm telling you, make the video. You're going to see something's going to happen. It's like an out-of-body experience, Jim. I can't even explain to you what happened next. So I get in my car and I'm driving to work and I put my phone in the cradle and I make the video and I just cried. I didn't cry, but I basically told him how it was. I'm driving to work. Every day I drive to work. I feel like I'm driving to prison because that's basically what it was. I mean, I'm going to work for my family and, trying to provide for them like as we all do. And I get off the 135 on Jericho and this car cuts me off. And I'm like, oh my God, while I'm making the video, not that I'm looking at the phone, but I'm driving. I'm like, holy cow, this car just ran me off the road. And I specifically remember that moment. I get to work and I send him the video. Within 24 hours, I get an email from Barstool. Like, hey, try not to get too excited, but you're being considered for the Barstool Fund. It's like all the blood came out of my fucking body. I lost all my blood. We need a few things. We need a tax ID number. We need payroll, utilities, rent, financials, bank statements. Yeah, time is of the essence. You have 5 days to get this to us. And I'm like, holy cow, is this really happening? I felt like Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, like crazy.
Right.
So I said to my partner at the time, who handled most of the financials, I need this, I need this, I need that. He's like, why? So I said, I applied for this Barstool Fund. I wrote the video, this and that. I said, I need everything like now. He gets me everything. I sent it to them that day. And also they needed my cell phone number if I had an iPhone, or if I didn't have an iPhone, they needed I had to download WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
I have an iPhone. I sent them my cell phone number. I gave them everything. That was probably like a Monday. On Wednesday, my phone rings. It's vibrating in my pocket. It said FaceTime video. Not unknown number, with a phone number from Boston, which I could bet my life it was this guy's personal cell phone number, Dave Portnoy. I answer the phone. It's him. I had no blood in my body before that phone rang. Forget it. I answer the phone. It's him. My first words were, are you fucking kidding me? He's like,
wait, let me ask you, before you go any further, does he go, hey, Phil?
No, he's like, oh my God. He goes, I love your pizza mask, because I had a mask on with pepperoni pizza on it.
Okay.
And he goes, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He goes, no, we're going to help you out. It was just insane, really insane. But the only thing I just wish my kids were there to enjoy the experience that I had, because it was just like I can't even explain to you what a feeling it was, but I just wish they would have been there to enjoy my joy,
Right. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing that he did.
He really, let me tell you. And
without talking about the exact numbers.
No.
It's a significant, he helped people with significant deposits.
Oh, and I got to tell you one thing. On the application, he wanted a number. The number you need to survive every month. They needed to know that number. And I will tell you, for 8 months, that is the number I received. The number that I said that I needed. And I was very, very easy on that number. Believe me, that was the number that I was missing is the number that I put on that questionnaire. And that is the number I got every month. Every single month for 8 months.
Well,
yeah.
It's you could say what you want about Dave Portnoy.
You can't say nothing bad about that guy.
He's a saint.
A saint is not even the word. There's a special place in heaven for him.
That's a great story, Anthony.
Talk about opening up the chocolate bar and seeing the gold inside of it, like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka. Forget it. Like, I'm just like, going back to that movie, you see this poor kid from this town. He opens up the chocolate bar. He finds the gold inside the chocolate. He goes to the factory, and it was just, forget it. I can't even explain to you like what a load that was off of my back, knowing that money was being deposited. And I didn't even know it was coming every single month, because every single month you had to show them your rent, your utilities, your payroll. Every single month.
You had to continue.
Yes, it was.
You had to continue.
The process continued every single month.
Wow.
Yeah, and also in that the email I got every month, it also said, if you need more money, let us know how much more you need and why you need more money. But I never asked for another penny more.
Wow.
Really?
It's great.
Yeah, great. Let me tell you, that guy, forget it. Amazing guy.
Well, I love the fact that you're willing to share that story and people could hear firsthand. People have heard about the Barstool Fund, but to be able to share this story directly from you.
And listen, I have no idea why this guy chose me or my place or my video. I have no clue why.
Well, timing is everything.
Yeah.
I will say, from what you're telling me, I think your gut is right. And whoever this young kid was that suggested you sent that video, I think it put it over.
Yeah.
And also there's a little fate involved. Maybe you're getting cut off was the perfect
oh my
dramatic
God. It was crazy.
Situation that kind of helped too.
Yeah.
Whoever that driver is,
yeah,
probably somebody who came in asking for the prosciutto to be swapped out with salami.
For some lard or something like that.
Crazy stuff, man.
But let me tell you, I had people calling me up and coming in, like, how did you get it? Still, people are asking me. But at the time, I never forget, this one guy came in, he goes, how did you get that fund? I said, I don't know, I applied for it. He goes, yeah, I applied for it too. I own a business. He didn't answer me back. What should I do? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, maybe send him another video, email him. People were coming in droves trying to find out, like, how I got this. It was insane, Jim. Insane. Really.
And you've never spoken to the guy again. You don't really have a relationship with them. They never.
I still have his phone number.
Wow.
I guarantee you, if I called that number right now, I bet you anything on the planet that's his person. He probably changed it already, but I bet he called from his regular number. I really do.
Amazing.
Yeah, really amazing. Let me tell you.
Well, I've been having fun. We've been making videos.
Yeah.
We've been experimenting.
Yes.
We both research a lot.
Yep.
And you have been to Naples.
Yes.
You're a fan of a lot of the street fare.
Yes, huge.
And what they do. And
huge.
I'm interested in doing some of that to an extent on the food truck, although I think I'm going to have my hands full, man, just managing, putting out for the listeners that don't know, I have a food truck coming on the road in 3 weeks.
It's going to be great.
The first official date is June 16th, and I'm honestly a little afraid about the workflow.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You got Anthony. You got our crew. We got everything. We'll help you as much as we can.
Like the planning, preparation, what people don't understand in these types of situations, and you do it every day, but like if I'm out somewhere and doing a 6-hour event, I have to arrive at the event 2 hours before it starts to get up and prepare inside the truck and get ready for the day. Now, to get there and have enough sandwiches, how many sandwiches am I going to serve?
You don't know.
6 hours.
You don't know.
Right? Let's say it's 100 to 150.
Yeah.
That is a lot of preparation the day before or the night before.
Forget it.
It's a lot of bread. It's a lot of cold cuts.
Yes.
It's a lot of spreads, right? Because we're making the spreads by hand. We're baking the bread by hand.
Yep.
You got to slice. We did a test run last week of the sandwiches at a fair, And, we're trying to measure out in weight the amount of, let's say it's a mortadella and fresh mozzarella sandwich with some other accoutrements on there.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out the weight of the mozzarella and of the mortadella, and I was very unhappy with the way the sandwich looked. I was like, I am not close to enough mortadella on this. Right? I need it to look like it's a stuffed sandwich.
I know.
And that's a lot.
It is.
I think I'm going to be putting at least a half pound of mortadella on each sandwich at this point.
Yeah, everything's expensive. It's nothing's cheap.
Yeah.
Really?
So that's why I'm afraid. I'm less afraid about whether or not it's going to financially make sense, because it's more about how do I plan it and figure out exactly how much mortadella needs to be cut. Because I could sell 50 sandwiches or 150 sandwiches.
And the problem is, like what I experience in my business, it's never going to be the right way unless you do every single sandwich yourself. Because everybody that makes sandwiches or chicken parmesan heroes or salads, like everybody has their own idea of how they think it looks great.
Oh, well, listen, with that, my youngest son, who's home for the summer, so the timing's perfect. It's me and him right now. We are the only ones building it, and I know in my mind what I want it to look like, and I will be in that truck at the very beginning for the first 6 months.
Sure.
All the time.
Yeah.
I am worried about, like I was talking to a guy on the phone today who wants me to do like 3 or 4 days in a row. How do I prepare the stuff? Like, I'm at this place that the last thing, sometimes I get home from these markets, man, and if I had to go bake again, there's no possible way I could do it.
I know.
Physically and mentally have nothing left in me.
Yeah, because your bed is calling you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, Jim, come lay on me.
Exactly.
I know. Believe me, I know.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep the people updated on the experience.
But that bread is delicious, really. The bread that you're making these sandwiches on, you hit the nail on the head. Let me tell you, really. You really hit the nail on the head.
Well, we've been working on it, and we've been experimenting and failing and throwing out a lot, but I think we got to it.
You're going to do it, really. You're going to do it. You really are.
Yeah.
I'm very confident you're going to.
I had, little by little, all the supplies, because we're going to have the inside of the truck done by Monday.
Yeah.
And like today, I got a 5-foot menu board delivered to the house that we got to bolt onto the truck next to the window. Yeah. I've got all these boxes of crap, and that's it. We're tidying up the artwork over the next 3 days, and we'll see.
It's very exciting. Let me tell you, it's very exciting.
Oh. Listen, I appreciate your help.
Your excitement. I really feel your excitement. I do.
I'm excited, but I'm scared.
Yeah, you should be.
But I think I'm supposed to be scared.
I know. You're supposed to be. And you know what? I just feel like I know you very well, but, probably not as well as I really think I do. But I just feel like you really love this. I do. I really feel you do.
I do.
I know you do.
Anyway, Anthony, it was really good to chat.
Yeah, it was great.
I consider you a great friend. And
same, really. Same here.
I have fun, but I also appreciate the support you give my business in many different ways, from physically helping with things to spreading the word about us and talking about us on Instagram.
Yeah.
So
listen,
it doesn't
you got
go
great
unnoticed. It doesn't go unnoticed.
Thank you. You have a great product. You really have a great product. I mean, my friends, my family, my customers, we all love your stuff. You built a great name for yourself. Let's face it. You really did. I mean, you went from nothing to something.
I'm a guy sitting in my basement doing a podcast that makes no money.
It's the American dream. It's the American dream.
Anthony, I'll talk to you this week, man. Thank you so much.
Jim, I love you. You're a great man. You and your family are so amazing. We really appreciate you.
Love you too, buddy. This episode of Bread for the People was brought to you by Side Hustle Bread, Long Island's handcrafted artisanal bread company. Side Hustle Bread is a family-run business that's bringing the neighborhood feel back to Long Island one loaf at a time. If you like what you're hearing, don't forget to head on over to iTunes and rate and review this episode. Reviewing and rating is the most effective way to help us grow our audience. This episode was produced by Milestone TV and Film. I'm your host, Jim Serpico. Blessed be the bread, everyone.